Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2005 Honda Pilot. Up front is a 3.5 liter V6, and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Honda Pilot for really just one reason. I haven't done the first generation of Pilot before. This is the first gen Pilot, and this came off the back of like the Passport and other SUVs that Honda was starting to dip their toe into the water of. We saw the CR-V at the end of the 90s. We also had the Honda Passport, which was a rebranded Isuzu Rodeo. And if you really want to get technical, they did have the Honda Crossroads around the world, which was a rebadged Land Rover. So this was still a relatively new concept for Honda at the time, and I'm here to tell you why they knocked it out of the park their first go around. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3.5 liter V6. Well, that is where the success story starts. Say that 5 times fast. This is the J-Series J35 engine from Honda, and they used it so much in this era that they even still use it here today. If you buy a current 2025 Honda Pilot, it will come with a version of this engine. Now, it's been updated over the last 20 years, but at its core, same engine for the last 20 years, and there's good reason for it. It makes great torque, it's been really reliable, it's seemingly easy to manufacture, and so anything you want from a bigger offered engine, the 3.5 liter does here. That V6 does make 255 horsepower, which is certainly nice to see. Now, like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. That's the only way we ever got them here. This is the 5-speed, and it seems to be doing okay. The reason I mention that is that Hondas in the early 2000s, Hondas and Acuras actually, some models did have transmission issues. Mainly the Honda Odyssey of this generation had some pretty big transmission issues, so that luckily didn't follow the engine when it was moved here to the Pilot. Last but not least about the drivetrain, this of course is all-wheel drive. However, you can find 2-wheel drive Pilots if that's what you're seeking. How does it feel to drive the Honda Pilot? Well, it drives really, really nice. It's cool, calm, and collected. The ride isn't too harsh. It's also not super plush. It's not a luxury vehicle. That, of course, was saved for the Acura nameplated cars. But even at 251,000 miles, this car still rides nice. And that's the big thing about it, is that it has been incredibly reliable. It currently has a coolant leak, but that's not really having to do with the reliability of the car. It got hit, hence the missing front grille, and so it has a leak and overheats. But if it weren't for that mishap, this would still be going cool, calm, and collected 251,000 miles on. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer, in the center is the speedometer, and off to the right is the coolant temperature and fuel. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have channel and volume, as well as our cruise control options. And off to the left, we have a climate control vent, our cruise control on and off, and dome light switch. Moving on to the door, we do have lock and unlock power mirrors with heated mirrors, and then our power windows. And moving into the center, we do have our standard Honda radio. This does have a cassette player for 2005. Pretty interesting to see that. But we have favorites, things like that. But then off to the left, we do have our hazard switch and VTM4 lock. So VTM4 is basically the fact that it is front wheel drive most of the time, but you can hit this button to lock it into 4-wheel drive if you are in snowy conditions, off-road, things like that. So it does give you that ability to lock it. Very, very cool to see that. Down below, we have 2 climate control vents, and the climate controls themselves, nothing really too crazy here. We do have auto climate and fan speed, but that's pretty run-of-the-mill for this era. And then we have our DVD player. very nice to see that. It's funny seeing a DVD, CD, and cassette player all in one car. Very few model years where that existed. But then we have our heated seat options, a little tiny cubby, 12-volt outlet, and a bunch of cubby space. Now, unfortunately, in the center console, we don't have any cup holders. This is where the cup holders would be. It was a little plastic insert, and it has been since removed, lost, or thrown away from this car. So, for possibly the first time ever, we can't actually do a big friggin' bottle test properly, because a lot of Hondas in this era would pass. So it's not a fail, but it's not a pass. So it is what it is. But we do get the center console that opens the front up as well as the top. So you can actually open the front of the center console without opening the top of it. This is very strange. I don't really understand the benefit of this, but hey, it's kind of unique nevertheless. We also do have a 12-volt outlet in there, and then we have the seats. The seats are heated and leather, which I'm pleasantly enjoying on this oddly cold morning. It's supposed to be summer, and yet it's rather chilly. However, speaking of seats, much to my chagrin, we have 2 more rows of seating, so let's go do some back seat reviews. All right. So we're in the second row of the first-gen Honda Pilot, and a couple of things to note. First of all, I fit fine. 5'11", not a small guy, head's not hitting the ceiling. I have more than a fist of space up above my head, so if you're 6'2", 6'3", I think you're going to be fine in here. We do have these seat back pockets that are stringy and baggy, and down below we have our rear temperature control, 2 climate vents, 3 headphone jacks, as well as our video inputs, 12-volt outlet. We also do get a center console here with 2 cup holders, but we get the DVD player up top, controls up here. We don't get a remote or anything like that. Some older vehicles like this, you'd hit a button and the controls would become their own remote, and then you could put them back. We don't find that here in the Pilot, but very nice to have a DVD player. 2005, that was a huge luxury. Watching Cheaper by the Dozen on the way to the Wisconsin Dells, yeah, that was my childhood. That was my childhood, and so that brings back a lot of memories. I also do like, you get these lights that are actually integrated into the grab handles. Very cool to see that. But as I mentioned, much to my chagrin, we have back seats. They're not going to be good, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love you and I am dedicated to this job that some people don't call a job, but you know, teach their own. I think it's a job. I get paid to do this, so here we go. All right, so this comes forward. Then these seats come up like that. And then I gotta squeeze myself back here. All right, let's put this seat up as well. Okay. So as of right now, like, I'm fine. But when this seat comes back, yeah, it's okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be the gulag back here, but it's not. I do have cup holders back here. Again, we have the lights integrated into the handles. Really love that. And I technically get 3 seats back here. So 3, 3, 2. Let's say that together. That equals
8.
Correct. So very cool to see that. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Honda Pilot, we have a big chunky handle in here, and this is the rear cargo space. Now, to put these seats down, all you have to do, push like that, pull it in. Easy to do, one-handed. Absolutely love that there. You can see the cup holders from the 3rd row that I mentioned earlier. You also do get a 12-volt outlet over there, which is lovely. And we can pull this up for some storage down below. That seems to have ripped off the side panel somehow. Not really sure how. There we go. All right, fixed. Ted, I'll send you the bill. Anyway, so that is the rear cargo space of the Pilot. This was the largest vehicle that Honda offered and is still at the top of their range in terms of interior space. So absolutely love to see all of that. We also do get a little light back here as well. So very cool. Grab handle here. Pull it back down. There you go. Honda Pilot. Beautiful. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and obviously, as I mentioned, this is missing the front grille, so don't mind that, but I like the look of the Honda Pilot. I think the first-gen Pilot was really nice. It was well sculpted and well designed in the fact that it's not overstyled, it's not overcomplicated. It's simple, and I think it's aged really well. Does this look brand new? Of course not, but I don't think it looks old as dirt, so I really like that. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the first generation Honda Pilot? Well, I like this a lot. I like it for a lot of reasons. The only major downside of these Pilots is that they really did not get great fuel economy. 17 in the city, 22 on the highway when they were new, and I would imagine some of those MPGs have walked away in the last 20 years. Also, for those hardcore off-roaders, although it does have four-wheel drive lock, I should say, it's not body on frame. Honda has never naturally produced a body on frame vehicle. They have happily rebadged one and called it their own in the Honda Crossroads, but they've never made one. That's actually why Honda was trying to acquire Nissan earlier this year, because they wanted the Nissan Frontier and Nissan Titan platforms for full-frame vehicles. But that's neither here nor there. I like this a lot. It's handsome. It has a great, fantastic powertrain. You can seat up to 8 people in it. Absolutely criminal amount of people. That is almost a football team. It rides nice, drives great, and the Honda durability has held up really well. While driving it, I don't really experience many beeps, squeaks, rattles, or tattles. It's just a very well-built car, and it's sitting up here at 250,000 miles, 251,000 miles, very proudly. It has earned those miles. It has achieved those miles, and it deserves the mileage that it gets. This has been ridden hard and put away wet. It was owned by a teenager for several years. That's why there's a GoPro mount on the dash and a sticker on the center console. It's what teenagers do. I did it. It's not had an easy life. This isn't a garage-kept, waxed every Saturday Corvette. This is a useful tool, and it has withstood a lot of abuse, and it is going to withstand a fair amount more of abuse. Once that radiator is fixed, this is going to be in tip-top shape once again. And so I wanted to show you the first generation Honda Pilot for 2 reasons. First of all, it's a car that we're seeing less and less of as time goes on, of course. But the second reason is that Honda has remained so true to this platform and to this vehicle. If you buy a modern Honda Pilot, you're going to get a modern version of this. It still has that 3.5 liter. They've upped it to a 10-speed automatic, but it's going to drive in a similar way. It's going to offer the same features. It's going to give you that same experience. And that's very hard to find over the course of 20 years if you compare 2 cars side by side, that they would offer the same things for the same people around the same price point. Honda has stuck with this platform, and I think it's paid them dividends. It's paid the public dividends. You could go in 2005 and buy one of these off the lot and have a wonderful experience. You can go buy one of these off the 2025 lot and you're gonna have a wonderful experience. The DNA of the Honda Pilot is strong, and no matter how many GMOs is tossed at this, that DNA remains bulletproof. And I like that. I like that a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ted for letting me borrow his Honda Pilot for today's video. I have reviewed so many of Ted's vehicles, I have genuinely lost track. This is his latest acquisition. I'm sure won't stick around for too long, but I'm appreciative that he let me film it in the interim. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.